Hey folks, and thanks for dropping by. Out of respect for your time, I will do my best to condense a 30-minute demonstration into about 5 minutes. So I will be moving through this rather quickly, but if you want to replicate what's going on in this video, the links to the exact documentation will be in the description. In this video, we're going to do a quick demonstration of AI-assisted PHP development utilizing Apex. And we're going to develop out the disaster relief coordination system that the training program uses. With that said, let's jump right into it. First, our environment, we have our nice Docker container with a fresh install. This is just a quick 4-line install that's on the home page of the website. And we have our nice web-based administration panel. With that out of the way, let's jump right into it. First thing you need to do is run apex GPT init API key to initialize Chat GTP integration, and naturally that's already done on this system. And then to generate a whole new package that's assisted by AI, you run apex GPT package, and we'll call this one disaster. And we now have a new SRC disaster directory, which is currently empty, so let's go ahead and populate that. Back in terminal, we simply describe the package in plain text. Again, I know I'm going fast, but please note, this exact text is within the documentation that's linked within the description. So right now it's going to go ahead and generate an SQL database schema and place it in a file called chatgtp.sql. And now you simply open up the file it generated, and I already have mine open because I'm blind. And as you can see, it generated a nice SQL database schema. Then what happens is you modify the schema as necessary, and it's best to keep it as correct as possible because the schema really affects how everything is generated: models, views, controllers, admin, net names, and so on. Then whenever you're happy with the schema, simply go back to your terminal, press enter, and it's going to go ahead and generate everything from database migrations, models, views, controllers, and stuff like that. It'll ask you a couple questions such as which admin panel menus you want, but it just takes a quick minute. Oh, and generation is done. So now, if we go back to our SRC disaster directory, we can see now it's nicely populated. We got our controllers, we got our models, we got various components, data tables, forms, things like that. And now let's go to the admin panel and see the results of this. Now back at the administration panel, let's reload the page and see what happens. Sure enough, the new disaster menu is there with a suitable icon and the various submenus just like I wanted. We have nice proper CRUD functionality. We can easily create new records. Go Lima, Peru. Now all these data tables are Ajax based, so sort, search, pagination, and delete is all done via Ajax. Then of course you can manage and update a record, just basic CRUD functionality. Now this also does its best to pick up on some nuances, and I'll give you an example of that. For example, if you go to create a project, if you notice the location field is a select list, and that's simply because it picked up on the fact that there's a foreign key constraint between the locations and projects tables. And one more nuance I'll show. If you go create a volunteer, it picked up on the fact that the volunteers table has a UUID column, so it changed the user field into an autocomplete list that populates with all users in the database. Please note, this is not intended to generate a fully fledged final software product, but instead provide a nice base system with a lot of the boilerplate code already written, saving you a good deal of time. From there, you can go through and modify as necessary into a final and quality software system. Now let's quickly generate out some REST API endpoints. So in terminal, I'm going to simply run the command apex GPT REST API disaster. And then, as same as before, it's going to ask us what we want in plain text. And for this, we simply want basic CRUD operations for the projects. Read operations have public access. Write operations require user authentication. Then what it's going to do is it's going to come up with a list of API endpoints it thinks we need. We're just going to go ahead and accept the default. And that's it. Now if we go back to our SRC disaster directory, there's a new API directory here. It has one PHP class in it, and that PHP class has all the code for all 5 endpoints. Simple. And that's it for this video. Thank you very much for your time, and hope you enjoyed. Please feel free to check out Apex if you are so inclined. It's a great framework, fully documented, backed by a repository network, and the whole 9 yards. Take care, and see you in the next video.